Donald Trump, welcome.
Thank you.
After you won Michigan and Mississippi, you said, I can be more presidential than anyone except Dave Lincoln, but you're constantly under attack. That is true. I hear people say, can't he tone down the insults a little bit and start acting a little more presidential?
The problem is, I started off, Howie, with 17. We had 17 people. So all smart, all tough, you know, governors, senators.
Now you've got 3 opponents.
Now I'm down to 3, all right? And I was being attacked from every angle imaginable. I mean, it was really amazing. And I had to be tough, and I had to be sharp, and I had to be nasty in some cases because they were nasty. And now we're down to a few, and, you know, I want to finish the game. Now, look, I went to the best school. I was a good student. I'm a very smart person.
Right.
I can be the most politically correct person that you have ever interviewed. And I do joke. I can be the best other than Abe. Honest Abe with a hat. He'd be tough. He's the ultimate, right? But I would say this. I can be very presidential, but it just hasn't been. This is a highly competitive thing with all these people.
Well,
I want to finish out the deal.
You have really gotten into it with Marco Rubio, a lot of personal attacks back and forth. You're running an ad now that says little Marco, as you call him, is corrupt. He's dishonest. You talk about cheating on his Republican Party credit cards. I mean, you were asked on Morning Joe, would you consider him for VP? And you said, sure, he's got lots of talent.
I didn't say that. I said it's too early to say. I didn't say that.
But you said he's got lots of talent. You were kind of positive.
I said, sure, he's got talent. He's got talent. But he hurt himself badly.
Right.
When he tried to be Don Rickles, that was not a good thing. He shouldn't have done that because it didn't work for him. And he was actually doing nicely. He was talking policy. He could be very sharp on occasion. Got hurt by Chris Christie.
But in calling him corrupt, are you now thinking, okay, I may need to mend fences with this guy if I do win this nomination?
I don't want to really discuss it. Honestly, the reason I don't is because we'll see what happens. But I will say this: he was better off before he attacked, and I don't do the attacking. I mean, I'm a counterpuncher. I don't do the attacking. You look at every one of the 17.
You always say they started it.
They started. And then they go back in. And there's something awfully nice about that. Wouldn't it be nice to have that working for our country?
In the Detroit debate, when you talked about the size of your hands and the size of something
I didn't
else,
talk about it. Marco talked about it.
Well, I was going to say, he started it, you were responding,
sure.
It was a joke. I didn't have any great problem with it. But it led to a tsunami of coverage, including this front-page headline in the New York Times, The Descent into Donald Trump's Pants. How does that help you?
Look, he made a statement that I had small hands. He made it up. He's a politician. Politicians lie. I don't have small hands. I have good hands. Look, my hands are good.
Let the record show.
Okay?
Right.
I have good hands.
Did Melania think that was a good place for you to go?
She didn't like my mention, but I did. Look, I was shaking hands 2 days later, and people were saying, oh, you have large hands. You have wonderful hands. They were shocked. The world thought, why shouldn't I say it? He lied, and I called him out. Now, should I have done it? Yes, I should have done it, because now at least they know it was a lie. Look, he became very nasty, Marco, and I became, therefore, probably nastier. And it turned out to be a very bad thing for him. But I do believe when you get hit, you got to hit back.
Let's talk about flexibility. Now, this came up because word leaked of an off-the-record meeting you had with the New York Times editorial board about immigration, and you say that was off the record, and I take off the record very seriously.
Very important.
So I don't want to ask you about that. I want to ask you about the larger issue, which is that some of your opponents think that when you make these sweeping declarations and then you talk about flexibility, that maybe you're not going to carry out all the things you say you would do.
Flexibility is very important. You can't say, this is the way it is.
Being stuck in cement.
And I will not talk to you. I will not. You know, I use the example, so the wall's going to be 40 feet, so it's going to be 38 feet. I mean, flexibility is very important. Sometimes you have to give something to the other side. It may be meaningless, but it's a bone. You call it a bone, and they take it. It's in the art of the deal. I mean, look, Cruz is a very inflexible person, I think. Who knows? Who knows if he is or not? But when he stands and filibusters for 2 days on the Senate floor, what did he get out of that? Nothing, except they wasted 2 days. You have to have a certain, now, ask for more than you want, come back to what you want, make the great deal.
Negotiating.
But it's called negotiating.
In the Fox debate, you said you were changing and softening your position on more visas for highly skilled immigrants. The next day, put out a statement kind of backing off. So critics are saying, well, where does he really stand?
Well, no, what I was talking about and what I really referred to, and I think it's very important, we educate people in this country, and they're from other countries, okay? Whether we like that or not, they pay, et cetera, et cetera. But we educate a lot of people, very smart people. We need those people in the country. They cannot come into the country. They go to Harvard, they're first in their class, and they're from India. They go back to India, and they set up companies, and they make a fortune, and they employ lots of people and all of that. Many people want to stay in this country, and they want to do that. I think somebody that goes through years of college in this country, we shouldn't kick them out the day they graduate, which we do.
You say you're a common sense conservative.
Yes.
One position that some on the right don't like is that you say don't touch Social Security and Medicare. People paid into it, they're entitled to get the benefits. But those are, as you know, two monster entitlement programs that are, along with Medicaid, driving the federal debt 45% of the budget when you include Medicaid. Do you say, I wouldn't even look at raising the retirement age, no changes whatsoever?
I don't want to change. I'll tell you what, I don't want to change. And by the way, the Democrats aren't going to change. I watched them the other night. They're talking about increasing it.
Right.
And I'm saying,
more of a
oh,
Democratic
good.
position.
No,
Yeah.
let it be their position.
Why should billionaires, why should you and your billionaire friends be eligible for Medicare?
I would like to do a system where people voluntarily, I would give it up in 2 seconds, and so would a lot of people that I know. And somebody said they don't want to do that. I would give it up in 2 seconds, make it a voluntary basis. I would say this.
Why not set an income threshold above which you don't get Medicare?
Let me tell you this. Look, there are people that it doesn't even come into, they don't even know they have it. There are other people, they need it so desperately. I don't want to change it, and I don't want to change it for a number of reasons. But one is because they've committed. They've paid in for years. We can make so much money in this country if we stop the waste, fraud, and abuse, if we negotiated, if we had other people helping us.
Speaking of your detractors on the right, National Review, which has been come out very forcefully against you, at your press conference the other night, you said these are idiots who don't have any common sense.
I didn't use the word idiot. No, I didn't use the word.
I heard you use the word idiot.
Whatever. But you could use that word.
But why are they not just
acceptable.
people who are fighting for their vision of conservative principles, in which many cases doesn't agree?
Because they shouldn't be attacking me. Look, we have something that's very unique. Millions of people are going to the polls right now, and they're going and they're voting for Donald Trump. Millions and millions, more than has ever happened for the Republican Party. They're going for him, and maybe in some cases to vote against me. I mean, regardless. But more than have ever gone to the polls. The Democrats are down 30–35%.
Right.
The Republicans are up 65%.
You're ruining the Republican Party. You say you're expanding the Republican
Party. I'm expanding it. And you know who I'm expanding with? Democrats, with independents. I'm expanding with people that never voted before. So many people, Howie, are coming up to me and saying, Mr. Trump, I've never voted before, but you're the first one I'm voting. Millions of people. And they should embrace me, and I should embrace them, and I will embrace them at the right time. What the Republican, they call them the elites. I don't know, are they more elite than? Okay.
We're at Mar-a-Lago.
Okay. But they call them, or they call them the establishment. Okay, so let's say the establishment. The establishment should embrace what we're doing.
I know you once gave money to Hillary Clinton and that you invited her to your wedding because you were a New York businessman and it was your job to get along with politicians, especially in a Democratic city.
Right, absolutely.
Isn't it a little odd for you personally now to be saying such harsh things about someone who you were friendly with?
Well, not so friendly. I mean, it was a point where, as a businessman, one of the magazines said Donald Trump was a world-class businessman. It's true. Look at the company I built. I filed all my papers.
Talking about Hillary.
No. But as a world-class businessman, I have to get along with secretaries of state, with senators, with this and that. And I would support people, and I get along. I never knew I was going to be doing this. I never knew I was going to be running for office. No, it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I look at job performance, and you look at what's happening with Syria. You look at what's happening with so many different places. Look at Libya, what a disaster. Look at Benghazi, what a disaster.
In 2012, the fourth year as Secretary of State, you told Fox she was a terrific woman doing a very good job at the State Department. So was that BS?
I'm a businessman.
So
why should
BS?
I say? I don't say BS. I don't say anything. I say, why would I say bad? I have to go to the State Department to get approval on some project that I'm building in some foreign country, and they have to give me a letter of recommendation. Why would I say that?
Because it makes you sound like honestly, a little bit of a politician if you now change
I'm not
your
a politician. But why would I say bad things about people when? I never knew I was going to be doing this. I never knew. I just got fed up when I looked at the incompetence in government, when I looked at the incompetence of our country.